Welcome back to the Sports News Analysis YouTube channel, where I'm always breaking down the hot sports topics of the day. My name is Mike. I'm continuing my Around the League videos here for Saturday, March 23rd. For the AFC North in this video, I do every division every day, guys, so be sure to check out my other videos and be sure to subscribe as well to get all my videos uploaded directly to you. The biggest news out of the AFC North today, at least, is the situation regarding Trent Richardson. Trent Richardson, the standout young running back of the Cleveland Browns, is being sued by two women. And these two women claim that under the direction of Richardson, they were beat up by Richardson's girlfriend after a dispute they had at Richardson's house after a December game in which the Browns won, actually. But, these are just claims being made now. Richardson is being sued. Basically, they're not saying Richardson was the one who beat them at all or struck them. They're saying under Richardson's direction that he directed his girlfriend to essentially beat these two women up. So we'll see how this situation unfolds as the offseason unfolds here. The Baltimore Ravens, the Ravens, it's well publicized. They've gotten rid of countless veteran leaders and good players. Not gotten rid of, either they've left or they decided not to re-sign them or they retired in Ray Lewis's case. And it's basically left them with two standouts on defense, Haloti Ngata and Terrell Suggs. And specifically Haloti Ngata, John Harbaugh came out today, and with the signings of Chris Canty and Marcus Spears, that's going to leave Ngata the ability to play inside a lot, and that he expects a dynamite season out of Haloti Ngata, who was good come playoff time last year, but struggled some in the regular season, mostly due to injury. And he expects Ngata to have a huge year. And let's face it, if the Ravens are going to be even close to how good they were last year, they're going to need their offense to be absolutely dynamic and put up points. And they're going to need Ngata and Suggs to be absolute studs. And, we'll see how that unfolds, because that defense surrounding them is going to look completely different. And Ozzie Newsome and his talent evaluation and who he brings in is really going to be tested this offseason. They get that grace period that Super Bowl teams get, but, Ngata will definitely go a long way in probably deciding, how good, if good at all, that Ravens defense is. The Pittsburgh Steelers, not much news regarding the Pittsburgh Steelers here recently, but a story I came across I thought was pretty interesting was the Arizona Cardinals, whose head coach is Bruce Arians, the former longtime offensive coordinator of the Pittsburgh Steelers. There's a thinking out there that the Steelers were interested in making Brian Hoyer their backup quarterback. They've since signed Bruce Gradkowski to fill that role. But there's a thinking they wanted to bring in Brian Hoyer, but sort of in a savvy move, Arians placed a second-round tender on Brian Hoyer. And, the Steelers were going to look at Brian Hoyer as a backup quarterback. You can't, give up a second-round pick to get a backup quarterback. So there's some thinking, though, that, the Steelers did that on purpose. That Arians did that on purpose to preclude the Steelers from being able to pick up Hoyer. And, Hoyer's a guy who garners a lot of interest. You remember when he was at the Patriots, he garnered a lot of interest from teams. This is a guy who wasn't on a team as of November when the Steelers picked him up towards the end of the year. They ended up cutting him due to some roster moves they had to make late in the season. That's why he was on the open market and ended up in Arizona. So, Arians obviously believes somewhat in Hoyer. He'll probably compete with Drew Stanton out there for that starting job, but we'll see how that unfolds. Just an interesting little tidbit I came across and thought I'd share it with you guys. Lastly, the Cincinnati Bengals. Have the Bengals, I've been reading some things lately. The Bengals have signed a lot of their own free agents. Of them, Ray Maluga, Michael Johnson, signed his franchise tender. They've brought a lot of guys back that were from the team last year. And the thinking is they might have done the best in free agency in this division by doing nothing. And, while they've done the best in free agency by retaining their own guys this season, they did have $45 million in cap space. I think it would have been nice and would have behooved them a little bit more to maybe improve the receiving core for Andy Dalton. I thought if there was a team that could place a first-round tender on Victor Cruz and blow him away with an offer that the Giants maybe couldn't match, it would have been the Bengals. But, they have a cheap history as an organization. But, just to get Andy Dalton some other passing targets other than, obviously, all-world receiver A.J. Green. You see the Bengals will be back in the mix next year. They virtually have the same roster as last year. But, again, it'd be nice to see them maybe address the needs they need to address by getting maybe one big ticket free agent and bringing him in. But, they've decided that, their own guys that are in their own program and their own building are the guys they want to go with. And we'll see how that ends up panning out for them next season. But that's my rundown on the AFC North today. Be sure to check out the other divisions, guys. Let me know what you think in the YouTube comments about your team or your rival team. Hit me up on Twitter as well, @SNewsAnalysis. And don't forget to subscribe. Thanks again for listening, and have a great night.